When you hear the concept of launch title or packaged games, in the modern day of gaming, it's an expected trope and marketing tactic to entice gamers to buy a selection of games ready for sale as soon as the console is launched or as a packaged deal for a new and popular game. During the 90s, when the PS1 was launched, there were 12 games available on launch day in North America, including powerhouse hits like Street Fighter, the movie, the game, and Rayman. A perfect example of a packaged game during this time is Pokemon Stadium, where you could buy the game along with a Nintendo 64 Pokemon themed console. Man, I wanted one so badly as a kid, but sadly, I never did get one. The Wii packaged Wii Sports together, becoming one of the best-selling games of all time after selling 57 million units. Oh man, I miss these days. During the 80s, launch titles had become a familiar deal, and with the Nintendo Entertainment System, they had 16 launch titles including Ice Climbers and Duck Hunt, which were best known as the Black Box series of games because of their distinctive black box design. They had one particular title that stood out above the rest, and no, it's not Kung Fu, but I'll get to the game in question in just a moment. Sega, with its Sega Master System, went with a unique tactic by having a game built into the Sega Master System and Sega Master System 2, with Alex Kidd in Miracle World to combat Nintendo and their packaged titles tactic. Because of the use of the launch titles, the NES grew in popularity and fast becoming the powerhouse of the industry, reviving the video game industry after the video game crash of 1983 and welcomed all challengers. Nintendo and the NES especially grew with popularity with a particular launch title that was packaged in with the console. It helped generate around 40 million units being sold across the globe and is one of the most cherished video games of all time. I'm talking, of course, about Super Mario Bros. Of course, when you mention Super Mario Bros, it conjures up memories of sitting in your bedroom playing for hours on end, either trying to beat the game, especially that jump in World 8-2, or trying to beat the game as quickly as possible in a speedrun, or finding the mysterious World -1. Talking about Super Mario Bros. Also conjures up images of one man in particular, who by the time that Super Mario Bros. Was released in 1985, had already built up quite the resume, and that is the one and only Shigeru Miyamoto. Shigeru Miyamoto is one of the most recognizable figures in the video game industry, a legend and a pioneer. He helped give us incredible series such as The Legend of Zelda and Star Fox, but before he became one of the goats of the video game industry, back in the 80s, he had already worked on games like Donkey Kong and Popeye. He was also working on multiple black box games that became the launch titles of the NES like Wild Gunman, Golf, and Excitebike. After transitioning from arcade games like the aforementioned arcade games, Donkey Kong, Popeye, and Mario Bros, which focused more on getting a high score, he changed his focus to more on the overall gameplay experience. He abandoned the concept of getting the high score to more action and utilizing a linear experience for Super Mario Bros. And non-linear approach for The Legend of Zelda. I'll come to The Legend of Zelda in another History of video. I'm not going to go into great detail about Super Mario Bros, so I'm just going to give you the basics. In Super Mario Bros, you take control of the title character Mario, and in multiplayer, the second player plays as his brother Luigi. The goal of the game is to quickly explore the Mushroom Kingdom, battle your way through 8 worlds, each getting more difficult, defeat the villainous King of the Koopas Bowser, and rescue Princess Toadstool. There are 4 levels in each world, and they range from Overworld, Underground, Underwater, and the final level is in a castle. You beat the first 3 levels by getting to the flagpole at the end, and in the castle you have to face a minion disguised as Bowser, hit the switch which drops the suspension bridge and defeats the boss, until you get to World 8 where you face Bowser and have to do the same thing. The main enemies in the game are known as Goombas and Koopa Troopers, whilst the underwater levels had more aquatic enemies such as Cheep Cheeps and Bloopers. Other enemies such as the Piranha Plant, Bullet Bill and the Hammer Bros are in the game and appear in multiple different areas. You travel through green pipes, and there are areas of levels where there are green pipes but are known as warp pipes, which allows Mario to skip to later worlds. Mario's primary attack is a jump. Jump on an enemy, they're defeated. Simple. You can break bricks with the jump and could reveal either coins or a power-up. You collect coins which are scattered around the levels in bricks and in the infamous question mark blocks. Collecting 100 coins gets you an extra life. Hitting the question mark blocks can reveal multiple different items or power-ups. That's the aforementioned coins, a red mushroom which makes Mario big and counts as an extra hit point, the fire flower which changes Mario's attire and he is able to throw fireballs as a projectile attack and this also counts as an extra hit point, a green mushroom which gives the player an extra life. Finally, there's the superstar which turns Mario invincible temporarily. If you get hit whilst little, you lose a life. Lose all your lives and it's game over. 1 year after the release of Super Mario Bros. In Japan, they got Super Mario Bros. 2, which was re-released as part of the compilation remake game Super Mario All-Stars on Super Nintendo and became known as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. The game played exactly as Super Mario Bros., but there was one small issue. The game was so much harder. One of the directors of the game, Takashi Tezuka, felt that Japanese gamers had mastered the original Super Mario Bros. And wanted a more challenging experience, and me did they get it. Recognizing the difficulty of the game, Nintendo identified that this game would be too difficult for new gamers and labeled the packaging with 4 super players. Anyway, the game was evaluated for release outside of Japan, and Nintendo of America believed that Super Mario Bros. 2 was too difficult for North American players and subsequently declined releasing it. Howard Phillips, who would evaluate games for Nintendo of America, President Minoru Arakawa, felt it was unfairly difficult even beyond the unofficial moniker of Nintendo Hard, and would not sell well due to its overwhelming difficulty. Here is what Howard Phillips said about his test playthrough of Super Mario Bros. 2. As I continued to play, I found that Super Mario Bros. 2 asked me again and again to take a leap of faith, and each of those leaps resulted in my immediate death. This was not a fun game to play. It was punishment. Undeserved punishment. I put down my controller, astonished that Mr. Miyamoto had chosen to design such a painful game. 2 years after the release of Super Mario Bros. In Japan, Kensuke Tanabe was working on a different game. Working alongside Shigeru Miyamoto, this focused on more stacking, climbing and vertical gameplay. Miyamoto was not satisfied with this game and wanted it to be more Mario-like. Tanabe said this at the Game Developers Conference in 2011. The idea was that you would have people vertically ascending and you would have items and blocks that you could pile up to go higher. Or you could grab your friend that you were playing with and throw them to try and continue to ascend. The vertical scrolling gimmick wasn't enough to get us interesting gameplay. Tanabe met with representatives of Fuji Television who wanted him to make a game using Yume Kojo characters to promote the upcoming Yume Kojo 87 event, which showcased several new TV shows and consumer products. Tanabe would implement these characters into his prototype game, and in Japan on July 10th, 1987, Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic was released. The 4 Yume Kojo festival characters were the protagonists of the game and were optionally selectable at the start of each level. The main protagonists consisted of a boy, Imogen, his girlfriend, Lena, and Imogen's parents, Mama and Papa. All the other characters and main villain, Mamu, were all original characters created by Nintendo for the project. The game takes place in an Arabian setting inside a book, and to officially beat the game, you had to beat at least one level as each character. Nintendo of America President Minoru Arakawa made a request to Gail Tilden. Convert Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic into a Mario game, which Tilden recalled it being an odd request, but not unusual, as Nintendo had already done this practice before converting a cancelled Popeye prototype into Donkey Kong. Here's what Nintendo of America changed from Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic to create Super Mario Bros. 2. One thing to note, that this is the first game to portray the height difference between Mario and Luigi's scuttling animation when running, and to justify his enhanced jumping ability. This is because he was originally Mama in Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic, who had the same abilities. Many characters who appeared in both Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic and Super Mario Bros. 2, such as Birdo, have since become popular recurring characters in the Super Mario franchise. Sadly, Wart, the main villain of the game, has never been seen in a Mario game since. Interesting note about Birdo: in the English game manual of Super Mario Bros. 2, it describes Birdo as a character who thinks he is a girl and would prefer to be called Birdetta. Birdo is considered to be one of the first transgender characters in video game history. Birdo's gender has been widely debated amongst gamers, as their gender has either never been discussed, or Birdo has been portrayed in different games to have masculine or feminine voices and traits. Despite being more feminized over the years, the depiction of Birdo's gender has fluctuated wildly across various media. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released in North America in September 1988. For years there had been this debate as to whether or not the North American and the rest of the world release of Super Mario Bros. 2 was a dream. This concept has since been confirmed. Swiftly moving on to 1988 in Japan, where the next installment of the Super Mario franchise was released, and it is my favourite Super Mario game of all time, Super Mario Bros. 3. With gameplay mechanics pretty much the same as the previous Mario games, Super Mario Bros. 3 was made to be bigger than the previous games before it, and created a game where no matter your skill level, it was accessible and easy to play. The earlier worlds would have simple challenges to beat and would provide an abundance of power-ups and extra lives, whilst the later worlds would be slightly more scarce of the items and provide more complex challenges in order to beat them. The traditional power-ups returned and more were created for this game. In the game, Mario was able to have an inventory of power-ups and items that could be used in various points throughout the game. For the first time, Mario was able to collect the frog suit, giving Mario enhanced swimming abilities. The Super Leaf gives Mario raccoon-like ears, a tail as a weapon, and the ability to fly. The P-Wing grants Mario the ability to fly indefinitely until you either beat the level or get hit. If you beat the level with the P-Wing, you revert back to Mario with the Super Leaf. Hammer Suit. Mario wears a Hammer Bros style suit where he throws hammers to break blocks and defeat enemies. Tanuki Suit. Mario goes full raccoon and has the same powers as the Super Leaf, but you can also transform into a statue for a limited time. With the new items, here's what Mario could use. A hammer. This can be used to break blocks on the overworld map, revealing new areas of the map. The Music Box sends enemy hammer or fire bros to sleep on the overworld map. Likitu's Cloud. a single-use item that can help you skip over a level. Be warned, if you skip over a level, then lose a life on the subsequent level, you will go back to before the level you skipped. The Warp Whistle gives Mario the ability to warp to one of the later worlds in the game. There are 8 worlds to beat and each one has a particular theme. Not only are these done for aesthetic purposes, but to also provide different challenges to the player. Here are the 8 worlds in order. Grassland, a traditional Mario world with the traditional Mario enemies. Desert Land introduces more desert-like hazards like quicksand and enemies such as cacti and a bastard murderous sun. Waterland, a water-based world where you swim a lot more with fish enemies and Big Bertha. Giant Land, everyone's favourite world, features oversized enemies. Skyland, a 2-part world. You start more on the ground, then you reach the sky and clouds, and features more air-based obstacles and enemies with an annoying as scrolling level. Iceland, no, not the country, a world covered in ice with slippery surfaces and ice-based hazards, my least favourite. Pipeland, a world filled with many pipes. Many maze levels dwell within this land, providing the player with a new challenge. Darkland, the 8th and final land where Bowser dwells. At the end of each of the 7 worlds before Dark World is a castle. Here, Mario jumps onto an airship and he must battle his way through to the end of the airship. If you lose a life, the airship will travel to another part of the map. When you make it to the end, you face one of the Koopalings. Yep, that's right, Bowser has 7 kids, and let's hope he doesn't have 7 different baby mamas and pays an extortionate amount of child support. The Koopalings were introduced for the first time in Super Mario Bros. 3, and interestingly enough, at the time, each of the Koopalings besides one was named after a musician who was alive at the time. For example, Iggy is named after Iggy Pop, and Lemmy was named after Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead. The exception of this was Ludwig von Cooper, who was named after Ludwig von Beethoven. Here are the 7 Koopalings in order. Similar to Super Mario Bros. 2, there was always talk, rumour, debate and innuendo that inferred that Super Mario Bros. 3 wasn't a normal Super Mario game. Seeing as Super Mario Bros. 2 was all a dream, there was always talk as to whether or not Super Mario Bros. 3 was actually just a stage play. This idea was confirmed by Shigeru Miyamoto when questioned about it, and he responded with a simple nod to signify yes. There was a massive delay in releasing Super Mario Bros. 3 in North America and the rest of the world, with Super Mario Bros. 3 being released in Japan on October 23rd, 1988. North America didn't release it until February 12th, 1990, and the PAL region waited longer as it was released on August 29th, 1991. That is a 16-month difference between Japan and North America, and a near 3-year difference between Japan and the PAL region. This was due to a shortage of ROM chips in 1988, and it delayed the release of many Nintendo games such as Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link and Super Mario Bros. 3. During the 16-month wait for Super Mario Bros. To be released in North America, the perfect storm had been brewing. Nintendo found the perfect way to advertise the upcoming release of Super Mario Bros. 3. In 1989, Todd Pollock of Universal Studios approached Nintendo of America and proposed to their marketing department about a video game movie. Pollock envisioned the movie as Tommy for younger audiences, inspired by Nintendo video game competitions. Nintendo agreed to this and licensed several of their games and products to appear in this movie, such as Double Dragon, Mega Man 2, and the Power Glove.
I love the Power Glove. So bad.
This film is The Wizard. In the final act, one of the lead characters makes it to the finals of the video game tournament called Video Armageddon.
Ninja Gaiden. Hey!
And the host teases a new game never played before in North America. After one of the lead characters ascends to the stage in a WWE style entrance, behind them is a wall and it opens up to reveal Super Mario Bros. 3. This was the first glimpse that video game players in North America had laid their eyes on the game. So if you wanted a taste of what was to come as well as a sneak peek on where to find a warp whistle, then you had to go see it in the cinema or watch it on home VHS. This must have been mind-blowing for audiences in 1989-1990 because they got to see one of the greatest games of all time before anyone else. This would be incredibly difficult to pull off today due to mass leaks thanks to the internet. Kids back then were having the time of their lives because of all the Nintendo game references, clips and shots and more. The Wizard is a fun adventure movie with a very sweet plot at its heart, but all the focus is on the journey to the video game tournament. Many contemporary reviews have noted its excessive Nintendo product placement, noting that it is nothing more than a 100-minute long advertisement for Nintendo and Universal Studios. Despite negative reviews back in 1989-1990, the movie has generated a cult following. All three games combined managed to sell close to 70 million units worldwide and all received critical acclaim upon release, as it continuously reinvented the gameplay experience with each game. These three games have a legacy that can arguably only be compared to The Legend of Zelda. It introduced many gameplay mechanics and elements that would become the standard for many games to come, inspired many other game designers and directors to create their own unique take on the Mario-inspired gameplay, even going so far to try and surpass it, such as Sonic the Hedgehog. These three games inspired many gamers of my era and still hold this trilogy to an incredible high regard. Along with this, Mario became the mascot for Nintendo and has endured many a battle in the years since, and Mario is still standing today, and with each new game brings new and innovative gameplay mechanics that have kept gamers on the edge of their seats. Nintendo, as we know, were embroiled in the console war with Sega, and even though it originally started with the 16-bit behemoth Sega Genesis Mega Drive versus the 8-bit juggernaut Nintendo Entertainment System, as the Genesis Mega Drive was released in October 1988 in Japan, Nintendo was working on a new 16-bit system behind the scenes to step up and be the new face to fight Sega. Though Sega had grown in popularity in the late 80s in part due to its graphical improvements over the NES and aggressive marketing, they put up a strong fight with Nintendo, and with Sega planning to create their own mascot to challenge Mario. Development of the new Nintendo console began in September 1987, and it would take 3 years for this console to be perfected and released. As we know, Sonic would be the Sega mascot to challenge Nintendo, but Nintendo would deliver a massive blow as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, often referred to as SNES or Super Famicom, was released in Japan on November 21st, 1990. Initially, there were 2 games released with the Super Famicom upon launch day, and one of them was F-Zero. When the console was released in North America on August 23rd, 1991, the launch titles included F-Zero, Pilot Wings, both of which utilize the SNES's Mode 7 pseudo 3D rendering, SimCity, and the subject of this video, Super Mario World, which was included as a packaged title in North America and the PAL region. With sales of the Famicom Nintendo Entertainment System slowly dropping off after the release of Super Mario Bros. 3, Nintendo President Hiroshi Yamauchi pointed out that if the sales slump continued, then players would get bored and move to games with better quality, which would have been a dangerous situation for Nintendo. With Nintendo then pushing forward with the development of the Super Famicom Super Nintendo, Shigeru Miyamoto started to assemble his dream team for the next mainline Super Mario game. With himself as the producer, he chose Takashi Tezuka to be the director of the game, Shigefumi Hino as the graphics designer, used Nintendo Entertainment Analysis and Development to handle the development of the game with a team of 10 people, including 3 main programmers who also had experience working on previous Super Mario games. Miyamoto wielded the most authority in the development of the game. Miyamoto, Tezuka and the team anticipated many difficulties when developing the next Super Mario game, as they were using new and more advanced hardware, with Tezuka noting that the software tools hadn't been fully developed yet, adding another layer of difficulty in the development process. Miyamoto recognized that they were no longer bound by certain limitations and restrictions thanks to the leap from the NES to the SNES, such as scrolling number of colors they were able to use at once, and to test the waters, they decided to port Super Mario Bros. 3 to the SNES, and despite the improved colors and sprites, they felt it was effectively the same game. This game forced Miyamoto and Tezuka to go ahead and build something brand new. The capabilities of the Super Nintendo to Miyamoto and the team were endless, so after making the decision to go with a totally new game, they began development on the 4th installment of the Super Mario franchise in October 1988, just a few months after the release of Super Mario Bros. 3. Around a month later, they started to implement and test their ideas in the game. Some ideas they tested were ideas they couldn't implement into Super Mario Bros. 3 due to the NES's limited hardware. As you can imagine, the gameplay mechanics of Super Mario World is practically the same as the previous 3 games, but with the jump from 8-bit to 16-bit and also going from a D-pad with 2 buttons to the D-pad, 4 front buttons and 2 shoulder buttons, there were some additions to what you could do. Let's take a quick look. The L and R button moves the screen forward and backwards when in certain levels. The start button pauses the game. The select button drops the item held in the box at the top of the screen. So yeah, just a few new innovations. Then there's the power-ups. You've got the standard power-ups, Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Superstar. Then there's the green mushroom that gives you an extra life. There's the brand new Cape Feather, which helps Mario fly, and the P Balloon, which inflates Mario into a floating balloon. Like the games before, you enter a level, traverse it, and reach the goal. Collecting 100 coins gives you an extra life. So yeah, outside of all the new innovations like the Cape Feather and Spin Jump, everything is pretty much the same as the previous 3 games. But not everything, but I'll get to those in time. Koji Kondo returned to the Mario franchise to compose the music for Super Mario World. With the jump from NES music to the Super Nintendo, the best way I could describe his excitement is that he was like a kid in a candy store. To create a unique soundtrack but keep it recognizable, Kondo decided to reuse the same themes from Super Mario Bros. 3 but in a rearranged form. By doing this, he felt the players would be able to recognize the same melodies while exposing them to new variations of music as they progressed through the game. Like I said, Kondo was like a kid in a candy store being able to work with SNES hardware and was overjoyed by being able to create music with 8 different sounds at once. He wanted to highlight the technical novelties of the Super Nintendo. He used several different instruments, implementing them all one after the other in the game's title song. Even with all this freedom in his work on Super Mario World, as development progressed, Koji Kondo was concerned about how people would react to his unusual combination of instruments, as he noted the use of more traditional square waves and triangle waves had gained acceptance with consumers. For the game's sound effects, Kondo decided to use a variety of musical instruments as opposed to square wave to emphasize that the game used traditional technology with a hybrid of new materials. In total, it took Koji Kondo around a year and a half to write all the music for the game. Ever since the first Super Mario game, Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Mario to have a dinosaur companion, but of course due to the limitations of the Nintendo back in 1985, that was a very difficult task and the idea for a dinosaur companion was shelved. In fact, the earliest design concept of Mario riding a dinosaur in Super Mario Bros. Is this picture right here. You can see the similarities, but as I said, the hardware wasn't there to create an ambitious sidekick. Although the inspiration can be traced back a bit further in time with the release of Devil World in 1984, which features a green dinosaur which shares similar comparisons and features to our own favourite green dinosaur. The idea of Mario and a dinosaur companion was rekindled briefly in the development of Super Mario Bros. 3, but once again hardware issues made it too difficult to implement, and with the development of the Super Nintendo, Miyamoto decided to take a chance to get his green dinosaur in the fourth installment of the Super Mario franchise. With taking Mario out of the confines of the Mushroom Kingdom and taking them to Dinosaur Land, it seemed like a perfect opportunity to give Miyamoto and Mario their dinosaur. Takashi Tezuka asked designer Shigefumi Hino to draw a reptile-like creature based on some of the sketches that Miyamoto had drawn years prior. Hino went away and his first design concept was deemed too reptilian by Tezuka as he felt it didn't really fit into the Mario world. Tezuka asked Hino to design a cuter companion and to draw influence from a sketch of Mario riding a horse that Miyamoto had around his desk during the development of Super Mario Bros. 3. Miyamoto's love of horse riding as well as country and western themes, which Tezuka speculated influenced our green dinosaur's creation. This led to the final design of Yoshi, and Yoshi was born. Now that Miyamoto has given Mario a dinosaur companion and sidekick, it was time to give Yoshi some gameplay mechanics. So, what can he do? Well, not only is Yoshi a convenient way for Mario to rest his legs and be a lazy sack of butt and ride Yoshi, but Mario can command Yoshi to eat enemies. It does look suspiciously like he's punching him in the back of the head, and in fact Hino has confirmed that in his original design sketches, that's exactly what Mario is doing. Punching Yoshi in the back of the head. Holy So yeah, Yoshi can eat enemies, but he can hold Koopa Troopa shells for a limited time, and depending on the colour of the shell, it will give Yoshi the ability to do different things. There are 5 Koopa Troopa shells in the game: blue, red, yellow, green, multicoloured. Here's what each one can do if Yoshi holds them in his mouth. Holding on to any of these shells for too long and Yoshi eats them. You can usually find Yoshi in one of the question mark blocks where he pops out and bursts out of his shell and immediately grows big. I've heard of a growth spurt, but damn! Yoshi's default colour is green, and we should have known that would be the case seeing as Miyamoto has been designing a green dinosaur companion as far back as Super Mario Bros. But there are many other Yoshi out there in Dinosaur Land, primarily in Star Road, and the other 3 coloured Yoshis are usually found as cute little baby dinosaurs. Here's how you can make them big. The other 3 Yoshis can do the following. So yeah, not only is Yoshi a cool and fun companion to have, but he can help Mario along the way, proving to be an invaluable ally. To set Super Mario World apart from the previous 3 Super Mario games, Miyamoto and his crew decided to take Mario out of the confines of the Mushroom Kingdom. Miyamoto and the crew took Mario from the Mushroom Kingdom to Dinosaur Land. Yep, Mario is going prehistoric. Well, sort of, as it would appear that outside the Mushroom Kingdom, unless Mario, Luigi and Princess Peach have mastered interstellar travel, there is an area of the world where dinosaurs still inhabit the planet. But, you know, it's nowhere near Jurassic Park. Within this area of the world there are 7 regions, and they are as follows. There are a varying number of levels in each region, and they have different kinds of level themes such as overground, underground, underwater, auto-scrolling, and more. With a castle at the end of each region with a Koopaling making the castle their own personal residence. Yep, the Koopalings return in Super Mario World after making their first appearance in Super Mario Bros. 3. There was a new kind of level introduced in the game, and that is the Ghost House. These levels can be tricky because, as you can imagine with a name like Ghost House, they're going to be inhabited by ghosts, such as Boos, Dry Bones, and Big Boo. Certain ghost houses require a level of puzzle solving to be able to navigate the level and reach the exit. These certainly were a brand new innovation and have become a mainstay in the Mario franchise ever since. You know how in pretty much every Mario game and level you start the level, navigate it and reach the exit or flagpole? Well, in Super Mario World with certain levels, there's more than one exit as some have 2 exits. To be able to know which levels have multiple exits on the overworld map on each level, the level will be either yellow or red. If it is yellow, that means that there's 1 exit, and if it is red, then that means that there's 2 exits. To get to the secret exit, some just require finding a different route and reaching the exit, while some require a bit more problem solving where you need to take a key and insert it into a mysterious keyhole that will open up really big and swallow Mario up whole. Then, your secret route is revealed on the overworld map. Throughout the game, you'll notice dotted lines in the shape of a square. Maybe these are special blocks? Well, in 4 of the regions, Yoshi's Island, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, and Forest of Illusion, there is a special level called Switch Palace, and they all have different colours: yellow, green, red, and blue. These levels are pretty simple to beat, as all you have to do is evade a few Koopa Troopers and other enemies, go through a pipe and hit a switch. This will then activate those dotted line boxes and they will become full. When you hit the yellow and green blocks, you will receive a power-up. With the yellow blocks, you will get the Super Mushroom. The green blocks, you get the Cape Feather. Sadly, you get nothing with the red and blue blocks. They're just there as walls and platforms. The game gets bigger though, as if you find it through one of the secret exits, you'll find a mysterious giant star. If you go into the star, you are warped to an area above the clouds of Dinosaur Land. Welcome to Star Road. Star Road has a route that is, would you believe it, in the shape of a star. Who would have thunk it? Anyway, there's 5 levels, all with secret exits. If you take the standard exit, you go back to the warp star, but getting to the secret exit will extend the route. When you've found the final warp star on top of a pillar in the middle of Star Road, you'll then warp to a secret area known as the Special Zone. In this area, there are 2 warp stars at the start and end of the secret area, and it contains 8 levels, all of them different and varying degree of difficulty. The names of each level refers to different surf or skateboard terms and even a 1960s word. They are gnarly, tubular, way cool, awesome, groovy, mondo, outrageous, funky. As I said just a minute ago, each level is its own level of difficulty, and for me personally, the hardest out of them all was tubular. Don't get me wrong, they are all difficult in their own way, but tubular sucked balls. Here's why. Well, you start the level and it's populated by thin green pipes and charging chucks. not so bad so far. Then you have to hit a block, a pea balloon pops out, grab it and you become inflated and you've got to float through the air. The problem is that you don't have a lot of time being inflated, and if you run out of air, you fall to your untimely death. So you have to find another pea balloon or two in the blocks scattered throughout the air to get to the exit. Mix this all together with the fact you have plants spitting fire, charging chucks throwing baseballs, floating enemies, and coins everywhere that will tempt you, then you've got a powder keg of hell waiting for you when you enter Tubular. Like I said, I thought Tubular sucked balls. This level gave me such rage as a kid, and that control pads would have been thrown, screaming, claiming that the game is cheating, and all that good stuff. This level lived rent-free in my brain for years, and I hated it every single time. But when you do it the first time, holy does it feel awesome. Once you're done with all 8 levels in the special zone and get to the warp star at the end, you'll be transported back to Dinosaur Land. But it looks different, and I'll explain what has changed later. In total, there are 72 levels in Super Mario World, and that includes the Star Road and Special Zone levels. Add on the multiple exits, which there are 24 of them, and that makes 96 exits in total. And again, I'll explain what happens when you find all 96 later. The story of Super Mario World is as follows according to the instruction booklet of the game. After Mario and Luigi brought peace to the Mushroom World in Super Mario Bros. 3, which kind of contradicts Mr. Miyamoto's comments about the game being a theatre play, but hey, I'm not going to argue the toss with the legend that is Shigeru Miyamoto. Mario and Luigi decide to take a well-earned break with Princess Peach, and they decide to head off to Dinosaur Land, which as we know is a region of the planet inhabited by dinosaurs. Whilst they're resting up on the beach, probably working on their tan and preferably not wearing Speedos, the princess is captured by Bowser. He really doesn't give up, does he? When Mario and Luigi wake up, surprisingly not sunburnt, they try to find the princess but come across a mysterious egg in the forest. The egg hatches and out pops a young dinosaur called Yoshi, who just after birth can talk and informs the brothers that his dinosaur friends have been imprisoned in eggs and scattered throughout Dinosaur Land by Bowser and his Koopalings. Yep, the Koopalings are with Bowser on a nice kidnapping family holiday. Anyway, Mario and Luigi put 2 and 2 together and work out that Bowser is behind all of this and have captured Princess Peach as well. The brothers and their new friend Yoshi set off on a mission to save Yoshi's friends and Princess Peach, and to aid Mario in his quest, Yoshi gives Mario the cape feather. Luigi can use it if he's a good boy. Now I'm going to move forward with the walkthrough. Remember, there are 24 secret exits to find. This is going to detail how to find each one. After you start your fresh save file, you'll get a nice little intro screen and a text box saying, "Welcome! This is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Bowser is at it again. At least the game developers are self-aware of how often Bowser does this." This is Yoshi's Island, and you start off at Yoshi's house, which isn't a recognized level in the game, so you don't need to come back here again. It's just the start point. You've got an option to go to the left or the right. I made a decision to go to the left for Yoshi's Island 1. Nothing special to this level. You go in, face some Koopa Troopers and giant bullet bills, get to the end of the level and get to the goal. This will reveal a route to the Yellow Switch Palace and a gnarly view of Dinosaur Land. The Yellow Switch Palace is really simple. Hit the P switch and coins appear. Collect as many as you can before the time runs out for some cheeky extra lives. Then go through the green pipe, hit the giant yellow switch, and another text box appear and it says, "Switch Palace. The power of the switch you have pushed will turn dotted line box to full box. Your progress will also be saved." First, that's rather kind of you to save my game. Second, you'll see loads of yellow boxes explode out of the palace across Dinosaur Land, and the Switch Palace flattens. Off to Yoshi's Island 2. Here, we meet Yoshi for the first time. you'll see one of the yellow exclamation mark boxes, and inside is a super mushroom. You'll find these across Dinosaur Land now. Anyway, free Yoshi here, and a text box will appear, and Yoshi says, "Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi, on my way to rescue my friends. Bowser trapped me in that egg." Well, that's not very nice from Bowser. But anyway, this is Yoshi, our faithful companion. Now, we just go ahead and finish the level. The rest of Yoshi's Island before getting to the first castle is the same, but the levels do differ from one to the other. Yoshi's Island 3 is a level where you have to strategically climb up and jump across rotating platforms. Yoshi's Island 4 is a level where you got to jump across platforms on water, avoiding giant spike things. Then it is off to Iggy's castle. But before you go in, you'll notice that the 4 levels of Yoshi's Island flash yellow. This indicates that there's only one exit in each level. Okay, Iggy's castle. Here's what you do. The level starts with you leaving Yoshi outside. Bit rude, but it is for his own protection. You've got a wire fence above you, jump, grab it and climb across. You'll have Koopa Troopers to distract you, but if you hit enough of them on the head, you'll get an extra life. Jump across, hit more Koopa Troopers for more extra lives, hit this spot to rotate to the other side of the fence if you want, and go through the door. You'll find yourself in an auto-scrolling section with giant blocks slamming down that can kill you instantly. Strategically place yourself either beside it or in a dip in the ground, get to the red door and go through and face Iggy. He's on a platform above lava and you have to bounce off his head, which will shift him towards the lava, but he can move to the other side if the platform starts moving. Anyway, do this enough and he will fall in. You'll find yourself outside the castle now, which has dramatically changed inside, but who cares about that, because Mario will have an egg and a detonate switch. He jumps on it, the castle explodes and falls to the ground. A text appears and will say, "Mario has defeated the demented Iggy Koopa in castle number 1 and rescued Yoshi's friend, who is still trapped in an egg. Together, they now travel to Donut Land." And a bridge will appear and off to Donut Land. The first level flashes red, meaning there's 2 exits, and from here on out, I'm going to focus on just the levels with 2 exits, Switch Palaces and Castles, or I could be here for a long time. The second exit in Donut Plains 1 is as follows. Go in, traverse the level, when you're close to the end, fly up and you'll notice a key, pick it up and hit the keyhole with it, which will suddenly expand and swallow you whole. That will take you to Donut Secret. Donut Plains 2 has a secret exit as well. Navigate your way through the auto-scrolling level until you get to a flat rising platform with a very short green pipe on the ceiling. Go through the pipe, pick up the blue shell, fly up, go through the key. This will reveal the green Switch Palace. Very simple, go in, hit the P switch if you want, go through the pipe, hit switch and done. Green boxes explode out the palace, then it flattens, done. All the green boxes will give you a cape feather. With Donut Secret, it's an underwater level, so swim through until you get to a P switch, hit it, swim and hit the block. A key pops out, grab it and go through the keyhole. This takes you to Donut Secret House, which as you can see is a ghost house. This also has 2 exits. So, leave Yoshi outside again for his protection, navigate the level, go through one door. In the next area is a P switch. Grab it, fly up, drop the P switch, a blue door is revealed, go through it, and here is a battle with Big Boo. All you have to do is grab the blocks below you and kick them up at Big Boo when he reveals himself to you. Do this 3 times and done. Secret exit found. This will reveal Star Road to us, but we're not going in there just yet. The next 2 exit level is Donut Ghost House. It doesn't look like it has 2 exits, but believe me, it does. So, go in as you start, fly up to the top, there's a platform there, run across it, collect the extra lives, go through the door and boom, secret exit. This takes you to the top secret area, which is 1 screen. 5 blocks, all with power-ups and a Yoshi. Neat. At the end of Donut Land or Donut Plains is Morton's Castle. Go in, avoid the mini jumping thwomps, go up the escalator and don't get hit by the swinging maces, go through the door, don't get hit by thwomp, go through the door, climb the moving platforms to the top, go through the red door and face Morton. You'll be trapped inside with him, but if you jump on his head 3 times before he reaches the wall, the job is done. Outside, Mario saves an egg again, but this time he manually demolishes the castle by himself. What a demolition expert. More text appears and it says, Morton Cooper Jr. of Castle Number 2 is now just a memory. The next area is the underground Vanilla Dome. What traps await Mario in this new world? What will become of Princess Toadstool? The cave door opens and into the Vanilla Dome we go. Vanilla Dome 1 has 2 exits but is a bit tricky to get to. But Vanilla Dome 2 has 2 exits, so let's start here. Go in, swim, hit the block, climb the vine. Go through and when you jump out, don't go right, go left, pick up the P-switch, go through the coins, hit the P-switch, jump down and you'll find a key. Pick it up and go through the keyhole. This reveals the Red Switch Palace. Easy again, either hit the P-switch or don't, doesn't make a difference. Go through the pipe, hit the switch, done. Red blocks explode and the palace flattens. Back to Vanilla Dome 1. First time around, when you get here, it only has the outline of the red blocks and this is why it's difficult to find the secret exit first time around. Now that we've done the Red Switch Palace, the blocks are filled up. So climb these blocks, hit the block, climb the vine and grab the key. And through the keyhole you go. In Vanilla Secret 1 you'll need to do some climbing, then you'll need to fly to a spot on the left wall where a green pipe is. Go through it and to the exit, where it reveals the second Star Road. If you get to the regular exit of Vanilla Secret 1, it takes you to an overground section of Vanilla Dome where there's 2 levels and a mini castle. Beating Reznor in the mini castle will reveal a big bridge, and Butter Bridge 1 and 2 and a route to Castle Number 4. But yes, in my full playthrough, I beat Butter Bridge 1 and 2, but I don't do Castle Number 4 just yet. Back to Vanilla Dome. Right, so you beat Vanilla Dome 2, the Ghost House, Vanilla Dome 3, and Vanilla Dome 4. You reach Castle Number 3, which belongs to one Lemmy. Straight away, you're going to have Carmec trying to use his magic to get you, so run fast. There's a P-switch along the way, grab it if you can, then keep moving. There's a bunch of coins surrounding a door, hit the switch, then go through the door. Keep moving, hit the checkpoint and into the next area. Jump over onto the moving rising platforms and avoid the lava. Keep moving forward through the rising platforms and dry bones until you reach the red door and go through it. Inside is a row of pipes of different sizes with a fireball floating around. Lemmy will pop out with a bunch of decoys and you have to hit him on the head. Do this 3 times and the job is done. I wonder how Mario is going to demolish Castle Number 3. This time he grabs a hammer and destroys the foundations of the castle. He is a demolition genius. A new text box appears and it says, Mario has triumphed over Lemmy Cooper of Castle Number 3. Mario's quest is starting to get much more difficult. Have you found the red and green switches yet? If this was the 90s and you didn't know about the secret exits, that would have been your first clue to the other switch palaces. We've escaped the Vanilla Dome and made it to Cheese Bridge area. Please ignore the Wrecking Crew picture next to my full playthrough. It was a different time for me and my full playthroughs. Anyway, Cheese Bridge area has a secret exit. Here's how you find it. To begin with, you'll need a Yoshi for this. Traverse the level and don't get hit by the chainsaws or fall to your untimely doom. Get close to the end of the level, jump and float underneath the exit. Then, Yoshi must be sacrificed and you jump off him and reach behind the main exit. Keep moving, grab the moon for a 3-up and go through this exit. This takes you to Soda Lake, which has 1 exit, but if you beat Soda Lake, it takes you to the next Star Road. But we're not ready for Star Road. Let's keep moving. You do Cookie Mountain, then head to castle number 4 to face Ludwig in his castle. Go in and travel through a tight area. Don't worry, it opens up a bit more. Avoid the boos, then go through the door. The ceiling will slowly descend on you, so move fast. Hit the switch to reverse the motion, then go on to the next door. You'll need to do some serious fence climbing here, so go forth, fearless Mario, and reach the top. When you get to the top, go through the door and square off against Ludwig. The room is longer, so run to him whilst he breathes fire at you and jump on his head. He will curl up in his shell and attack you, then jump at you. Make sure you're a good distance away so you can hit him 2 more times and then the job is done. Okay, we've defeated 4 of the Koopalings and destroyed 3 castles. How is Mario going to destroy number 4? Mario saves the egg, places it at a safe distance, and it looks like it's going to be a standard demolition. He pushes the switch, then... hold on, it takes off? Like a rocket? What the... It flies off into the distance and hits the mountain in the background. Poor mountain has a boo-boo and has to wear a plaster. This was always my favourite with the demolitions. More text appears and it says, Ludwig von Koopa's days of composing Koopa symphonies in Castle Number 4 are over. The Forest of Illusion lies ahead. Mario must use his brain to solve the puzzle of this perplexing forest. The Forest of Illusion is filled with multiple exits, so off you pop to Forest of Illusion 1. To get to the secret exit can be a bit of a struggle. When you get to this part of the level, you'll need to grab the P-balloon and then float your way over to this little platform, hit the block, grab the key and go into the keyhole. This will reveal the ghost house. In Forest of Illusion 2, which is an underwater level, you need to swim to this point, and I know it looks like a blocked wall, but it isn't. Eat the fish, grab the key, and enter the keyhole, which will reveal the Blue Switch Palace. Just like the other Switch Palaces, it isn't difficult at all. Maybe even the easiest of them all. Anyway, collect the coins, go through the green pipe, and then flatten the switch. Blue blocks explode and the palace flattens. Sorted. With the ghost house, you'll need to follow the route as you normally would. Once you find the P-switch, grab and jump into the next spot, hit it and go through the door. When you get to the first door, just go through it and done. Forest of Illusion 4, it's very simple. Go through the level until you find a blue pipe with a Lakitu throwing spikies out. Go down the pipe, grab the key, and through the keyhole you go. This exit reveals the forest secret area. Beat that level and it takes you to Forest Fortress, and when you beat that level by beating Reznor again, you'll find the next Star Road. Right, back to the secret exits. Forest of Illusion 3 is easy to miss, but it's a green pipe that is next to 3 blocks going in a diagonal direction. Go down the green pipe and you know what to do. You'll then find yourself going to Roy's castle in Castle Number 5. Enter the castle and drop onto the platform below, but watch out as it moves. Stay on the platform as it goes in all kinds of directions, jump off and watch out for the fire-breathing statues. Then go through the red door and you'll be facing Roy. Facing him is the same way as when you went toe-to-toe with Morton, so do the same thing by making sure he doesn't get to the walls, then job is done. What is Mario gonna do with demolishing Castle Number 5? Well, he hits the switch and... nothing. What? Mario goes to check it and boom! It explodes in his face. Love it. Anyway, here's what it says now. Mario found his way through the Forest of Illusion and has put an end to Roy Koopa in Castle Number 5. Onward to the dangerous but tasty Chocolate Island. There are no secret exits in Chocolate Island 1 or the Ghost House, and the first one in this area is in Chocolate Island 2. To be clear, I've never truly worked out how to find the secret exit. All I can think of is that it works on time. Anyway, if you're quick enough, you'll find this area. If you're not, then you'll find yourself in this area and on your way to the regular exit. Then do the usual business and you're done. This will take you to Chocolate Secret, and after beating this level, it will take you to Castle Number 6. But we're not ready for that yet. Chocolate Island 3. You'll need to reach the end of the level, and if you have a Yoshi, you can eat the blue Koopa Trooper and fly to the exit. Be sure to collect the 3 extra lives first though. Chocolate Fortress and Chocolate Island 4 and 5 are single exits, so let's get to castle number 6, Wendy's Castle. Okay, you're going to have to be very careful in this castle as there's pointy pillars that shoot to the ground and can kill you. So avoid them and the buzzsaws on the track throughout this part of the castle, and when you reach this part, the pillars are moving very fast. So time it perfectly and make your way to the door. In this area there's moving platforms and fireballs, both small and large. Again, be careful here. Once you make it to the red door, you'll see a similar layout to when you faced Lemmy in castle number 3, but the pipes are all level and there's 2 fireballs circling the area. Wendy will also be using decoys, so hit her on the head 3 times and you're done. Now, the demolition of castle number 6 is incredibly unique. Mario literally takes a giant brush and just wipes it off the screen. It's genius, I tell you. Anyway, there's more text. Wendy O. Cooper in castle number 6 has sung her last song. Mario must meet the challenge that is now before him. There is a sunken ship that appears to be a gateway to the Valley of Bowser. The sunken ghost ship is indeed the gateway to the Valley of Bowser, and you'll need to swim through the level avoiding bullet bills, fish and boos that appear in large numbers. Go down the blue pipe and on the other side you'll fall, kind of like Bill and Ted when they fall to hell. Don't worry though, once you've grabbed the green crystal, that's the end of the level. Back on the map, the ground begins to shake, the water shallows, and the entrance to the Valley of Bowser is revealed to us. That is pretty badass. We've reached the final area of Dinosaur Land, and Valley of Bowser 1 doesn't have a secret exit, but Valley of Bowser 2 does. In this level, the platforms move up and down and can crush you. You'll be at a severe disadvantage if you have a Yoshi, so I don't recommend having him in this level. When you've survived and made it here, you'll need to fly over the top here and then head to the left and you'll find the key. Job done. That will lead you to the Valley Fortress, and when you've defeated Reznor once again, this can take you to the back door of Castle Bowser, which will make the route to facing Bowser that much easier. But we're not doing that, we're heading to Valley Ghost House. The Ghost House has 2 exits and the secret exit is a bit tricky to get to. When you're in this area, you've got to try and blindly lead some coins to a specific spot and then turn the coins into bricks, then go through a very tight gap. But I hate doing that, so I normally fly up, clip onto the edge whilst crouching, and then hop through. It takes a bit of patience, but I feel it's the easier option of the 2. That will lead you to castle number 7, Larry's Castle, but again, we're not there yet. On to Valley of Bowser 4 for the next secret exit. It's near the end of the level, and if you don't have a Yoshi, you're screwed. If you do have a Yoshi, then you can just eat the key and go through the keyhole. This will reveal the final Star Road. We're not there yet, but we're almost there. Finally, we're at the final castle before Castle Bowser. Castle number 7, Larry's Castle. There's another zip moving platform that you have to follow all over the place and through swinging spike balls until you reach the door. You'll need to avoid spikes, dry bones and many Carmex, and this part is much easier when you have the cape, so you can spin jump your way through the blocks. Go through the red door and you'll be up against Larry. Facing Larry is the same as when you faced Iggy, but now you've got fireballs shooting up from the lava. So be careful and make sure you get Larry into the lava and you're done. You'll notice that there's no trigger switch for castle number 7. So how is Mario going to demolish this one? Easy. He picks it up with his bare hands and just kicks it away. Love it. Mario has defeated Larry Cooper in castle number 7. All that is left is Bowser's castle, where Princess Toadstool is being held. Can Mario rescue her and restore peace to Dinosaur Land? Now we can move on to Star Road, where we will also meet all the coloured Yoshis. Even though in my full playthrough I started at Star Road 5, I'm going to start on Star Road 1. All of the levels in Star Road are rather easy, so I'll just focus on the secret exits. With Star Road 1, all you have to do is spin jump, breaking blocks on the right hand side of the level until you reach the key and keyhole. Easy. Star Road 2 is an underwater level. If you can get the blue Yoshi, awesome. Anyway, swim your way through avoiding the fish, swim underneath the green pipe, and you've reached the exit. Star Road 3 is a bit more difficult as you'll need to kill Lakitu, use these clouds to float on up to above the stage, and that's where you'll find the key. Star Road 4 is a case of get to a point where there's lots of green and red blocks, hit the regular block, grab the key, and you're done. In Star Road 5, it's best if you have a blue Yoshi because once you've got a Koopa shell in your mouth, you can fly over and then squeeze through the small gaps, and there's the small keyhole. This will reveal another Star Road star, and this will take you to the Special Zone. These are the 8 hardest levels in the game, and there's no secret exits here. But I'll give you a brief explanation as what happens in each level. Gnarly starts off as a vertical level and you'll need to bounce your way to the top to then go back down the way you came. If you can fly over the top, it'll make things a lot easier. I've already spoken about Tubular, and it is to me the hardest level in the game, hands down. But you'll need to collect pea balloons and float your way across the level to reach the exit. Get hit and you're done for. Way Cool is a level where you'll need to remember which switches to hit to make sure you can get to safety without dying or being hit by chainsaws and black creature bad guy things. But you can get to the exit with the blue Yoshi, which makes Way Cool very easy. Awesome is an ice level. If you still have a blue Yoshi, then it's a lot easier as you can eat the Koopa shells again and fly over. But lose blue Yoshi and you're going to have to use all your skill and cunning from not dying and making it to the exit. Groovy is up next, and you'll notice that it's the same level that's used at the beginning of the game when you boot it up. This is also arguably the easiest level out of the 8 levels in the Special Zone, and the only difficult bit is getting past the 2 charging chucks at the end. Mondo is a level with rising and lowering water levels, and the direction of the water will slow you down as well, and you've got the usual fish bad guys all over the place in this level. That can be killed easily if they're out of the water. Then you've got the Hammer Bro to get past to get to the exit. Outrageous can be a bit of a pain in the ass with all the bad guys around the place like the jumping fireballs, bullet bills and more. The reason this level sucks is because you have to hold on to the spring and jump over high spots and this pink pipe. Then you've got the Hammer Bros again. Finally, there's Funky, another easy level with a cute message at the end in coins that says, "You are a super player." Well, that's very nice of the creators of the game to put in. Anyway, once you're done, you'll see another Star Road star, and when you go through it, everything in Dinosaur Land has changed. All the colours have changed, and the bad guys in the game, I'll leave that for the end. Now, to Castle Bowser. There's 8 different rooms for you to go into, but don't worry, you don't have to go through them all. You can pick. I had a particular route when I was younger, and I can't remember what they were. But in the castle, I did choose which was number 4. You'll have more moving platforms and fireballs around some platforms. Just hop your way through and you'll find rooms 5 to 8 in the next area. I picked room 5 next, and we've got the spiky pillars and thwomps. This needs to be timed to perfection to avoid death. As you can see, I failed there, so I went through door number 8. In here are jumping charging chucks, and just avoid them like the plague until you get to the next door. Here, the room is dark, but you can light the area up. This is also where you enter when you come through the back door. Anyway, avoid the bad guys and Mecha Koopas and go through the door where you'll reach the roof of the castle. Here, the thunder and lightning rumbles, and Bowser will reveal himself in his flying machine and fly around you. He will eventually stop and throw some Mecha Koopas at you. Hit those suckers on the head and kick them up where they have to hit Bowser square in the middle of his head. do this twice and Bowser will fly away, drop fireballs from the sky. He will return and Princess Toadstool will try to escape, screaming for help and throw a super mushroom at you. Bowser will once again fly around you, but this time he follows you. Another change in this round is that he will turn upside down and drop a giant ball at you. Eventually he will drop more Mecha Koopas and you'll need to throw the Mecha Koopas at his head again. Do this twice and Bowser will do the same thing that he did before. Fly away, drop fireballs, return. Princess tries to escape, collect super mushroom. In the final round, the expression of the flying machine turns more evil and Bowser will start bouncing on the floor. He throws more Mecha Koopas, so kick them at his head. Do this twice and Bowser is defeated. Bowser will drop the princess and fly away in his machine. You and the princess share a moment and she then kisses you and Mario blushes. Aw shucks. There's some text as well that says, Mario's adventure is over. Mario, the princess, Yoshi and his friends are going to take a vacation. Fireworks shoot off in the distance and that's the end. We see Mario, the princess, Yoshi and 7 Yoshi eggs walk on home. They go through the different areas of the game in reverse, so through the Valley of Bowser, Chocolate Island, the Forest of Illusion, Butter Bridge, Vanilla Dome, Donut Land, back to Yoshi's Island, where they arrive back at Yoshi's house. All the eggs start to hatch and everyone celebrates. The credits continue and we see the enemies in the game. Remember me being the special zone? Well, when the land changed colours, so did the sprites for the enemies in the game. A neat little Easter egg. At the end of the credits, when you go to start a new game or continue, if you have managed to find all the exits, your game will say 96 and have a little gold star to indicate that you have done everything in the game. And that is Super Mario World. When released, Super Mario World went on to sell over 20.5 million units, making it the best-selling game on the SNES. Miyamoto and Nintendo were looking to extend the run of Mario dominance in the video game world to 4 critically acclaimed games, and they got exactly that, as Super Mario World was praised across the board. Here's a selection of review scores. The reviews highly praised several aspects of the game, such as the graphics and visuals. Rob Swan and Paul Glancy of Computer and Video Games praised that the graphics were an excellent example of what the SNES was capable of and that the visuals were stunning, with Glancy adding that he was grateful that the game was packaged in with the SNES. Along with the graphics and visuals, multiple reviewers would commend the designs from Mario, Yoshi and the rest of the cast. Colourful visuals and pleasing animation. Morgan Sleeper of Nintendo Life describes Super Mario World as the graphical holy grail that retro-inspired games aspired to be and insisted that the game holds up today. Super Mario World's replay value was highly praised, and even with 4 different reviews from Electronic Gaming Monthly, they all commended the game's secrets and diversity among levels, expressing their appreciation that they didn't recycle aspects from Super Mario Bros. 3. Swan and Glancy praised the addictive gameplay and vast number of levels in the game. Dan Whitehead of Eurogamer lauded the game's divergence from linear platforming and asserted that the Super Mario World was an evolutionary leap for gaming in general. One reviewer appreciated the option of being able to finish the game by alternative routes. Other reviewers would go on to say these things about Super Mario World. One of the smoothest platformers in existence. Masterful. Nothing about the game feels out of place or superfluous. Unrivaled masterclass. Koji Kondo's soundtrack and sound effects were also given its fair share of praise as well. Reviewers would say this about Kondo and his soundtrack: mind-blowing. Another one of Koji Kondo's classics. Globally magnificent. Timeless. The game went on to win a number of awards and accolades throughout the years. In 1991, the game received the award for Game of the Year by both Nintendo Power and Power Play. Many retrospective reviews have declared that Super Mario World is one of the greatest games of all time, and in 2009, a poll conducted by Empire voted it as the greatest game of all time. In 2009, official Nintendo magazine placed the game 7th in a list of the greatest Nintendo games of all time. This was followed in its final issue in October 2014, where official Nintendo magazine ranked Super Mario World as the 3rd greatest Nintendo game of all time, behind The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Super Mario Galaxy. In 2012, Nintendo Power named Super Mario World as the 5th greatest game of all time. Yeah, as you can imagine, the game ranked and continues to rank highly as one of the greatest Nintendo and video games ever. The legacy that Super Mario World has left on the world is incredibly strong. As a packaged game with the Super Nintendo, as I mentioned before, it became the highest selling Super Nintendo game of its era, with over 20.5 million units being sold, and it helped popularize the console, pushing Nintendo further and further ahead in the console wars against Sega and its Genesis Mega Drive. Shigeru Miyamoto has gone on record and has stated that Super Mario World is his favorite Super Mario game ever. Strong call, seeing as there's so many Super Mario bangers released over the years. After the release of Super Mario World, it helped spawn a cartoon TV series of the same name, which ran for 13 episodes between September 1991 and December 1991. And you know when you aren't sure if you remember such a thing? Well, I had that happen to me regarding this cartoon show. I knew I wasn't crazy. A sequel, shall we say, was in development by Nova Logic in 1992-1993 for the Philips CDI, entitled Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. But the game was cancelled due to the console's commercial failure. A prototype of the game has surfaced, and it was shown on Cinemassacre through James and Mike Mondays. Thanks to Super Mario World, Yoshi has become one of the most important, popular and recognizable characters in Super Mario and video game history. He has appeared in nearly all of the Super Mario sports titles and spin-off games. He spawned his own video game series, starting with Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island in 1995, and the most recent being Yoshi's Crafted World in 2019. Plus, multiple spin-offs from 1991 with Yoshi. He has been a playable character in the Super Smash Bros. Games since the very beginning, and a mainstay in the series. In a poll in 2008, Yoshi was voted the 3rd favourite video game character of all time, behind Cloud Strife and Mario himself in 2nd and 1st respectively. Finally, Super Mario World has been the subject of a large hacking scene, with gamers creating their own graphics, music, mechanics, and basically build a whole new game from the ground up, with the most notable being Kaizo Mario World being shown to be one of the hardest games created by fans. The word Kaizo has since been used to describe fan games of extreme difficulty. I've made it clear many times before that it was my oldest brother who had a Super Nintendo, and of course when he got his Super Nintendo, his first game was Super Mario World, and just like any 5 or 6 year old, I would pump hour after hour into this game, as it was truly magnificent. I had played all the Super Mario games up to this point, beaten them, and it was time to put myself to the test on a brand new game and console. I had to test my skills on new software and hardware, the likes I had never seen before. I had to test myself and push myself even further to beat all the Koopalings, to find all the exits, to beat Star Road, and then to beat the Special Zone as well. All so I can get a cute little star next to my save file and to change the colour palette and sprites of the game by beating the Special Zone. I personally still rate this in my top 5 Super Mario games ever, as it left such an indelible imprint on my gaming life, and whenever I choose to play the game, I'm sucked into it and become focused on just beating this incredible game. Truly one of the greatest Mario games and video games ever. With that being said, I'd like to thank you on joining me on this journey back to Dinosaur Land with the history of Super Mario World, a 35th anniversary retrospective. As always, if you like this video, give it a like. Share the video as well, because the more shares, the more views, the more the channel continues to grow, and the more now I get to do this for you. Subscribe to Well-1 Entertainment, and if this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to check out the other content that is currently available, because you never know, there might be something that you like, and if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell to keep yourself notified of any and all content that goes live onto the channel. Drop me a comment below and let me know your memories of Super Mario World. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everyone.